Hi everyone, David here from Teachola. Previously we were known as Teachers for Asia. I'm here with Cara, one of our Teach Abroad specialists.
Hi everyone, it's nice to be here.
Thanks for joining us for part two of this three-part series. Today we're talking about how to actually apply to teach in Asia with Teachola. Hopefully you've seen part one, which was all about the different locations you can teach in with us. We talked about mainland China, Taiwan. That's where you were based as well, Cara, right? You were in Taiwan and mainland China.
Yeah, I spent time in both. So I attended university in Taipei in Taiwan, and then I also lived and taught in Ningbo, Zhejiang, China.
Right. Same as me. I lived in mainland China for 4 years. I was in Hong Kong for a year as well. So we talk about those locations for first timers. We also talk briefly about South Korea and Vietnam. So today we're talking about how do you apply? Let's run through this. So firstly, this is the slide we showed you before, and this is the key steps in the process if you're coming from your home country. You'll be able to meet with us at our workshops where we'll go into a lot more detail and give you tips and advice on preparing you for your actual interviews with the schools. You'll receive information before those workshops, and then you'll attend the workshop with us, and then you'll be able to apply for these teaching jobs, complete the interview, hopefully get the job offer. We'll be in touch the whole way through and giving you advice on how you gather your documents. And then we wait for the green light to travel. So that lays out visual for you. Here's the different steps in a bit more detail. So let's run through these. So firstly, you got to register. It's pretty straightforward, and we'll be sending you some videos on this as well. It should only take a minute, and you'll upload your CV. You'll receive lots of information from us, including a welcome pack that you can look over before we meet you in person, virtually. And then we'll meet you at the workshop. And that's, like I mentioned before, there'll be lots of useful information there, and it's a way for you to meet us and get to know us, and vice versa. A lot of you may need to do a TEFL. The TEFL generally is, as long as you have a bachelor's degree and a TEFL, you'll qualify then to be able to teach in most of these positions we're talking about. If you do have 2 years or more full-time classroom teaching experience, well, then you may not need to do a TEFL. And of course, if you're a professionally qualified teacher, well, then the TEFL won't be as relevant. We'll be talking more about professionally qualified teachers in another video. Cara, I think you did 1 or 2 TEFL courses, right, over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I have a couple. So I have the 120-hour online one, which I used to go abroad. And then since then, I've also completed a business TEFL and a teaching online specialist one as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Cara is our Teach Online manager at Teachola. So you can catch up on our webinars related more to Teach Online as well. Yeah, so that's the TEFL, and that can be done. It's 120 hours technically, but you can probably get it done a little bit quicker than that. It depends, especially if you're in the study mode just after your degree. And then we move on to the next phase, which is the actual online interview with the schools. So you may just have one interview at one school, get an offer and accept, or we may look at several options for you. But we'll be going over that in the workshop when we meet you in person. Then you get the job offer, read over the contract terms and conditions. We're available to advise if needed. Hopefully then, if everything looks good, you accept the job offer. And then you start focusing on preparing your visa documents and getting everything ready. We'll be giving you instructions and coaching on that. There's a lot of detail related to visa. So in this video, we're keeping that to a minimum. because we have other videos specific to where you are in the world. Then you're going to book your flight once the school gives you the green light. Obviously, with travel restrictions still in place currently, we expect those to lift a little bit later this year. And then with the borders opening up as well, it'll make it all a bit more real. So that's usually the steps in the process. And then, of course, we'll be in touch with you all the way through. We'll be giving you tips on what to pack before you travel, or tips maybe on learning some basic language skills. Cara, I think with your Mandarin Chinese skills, we'll have some videos, just fun videos, right, on different survival phrases maybe people can use.
Yeah, definitely. So Mandarin has a reputation for being quite difficult, but you're right, we'll definitely have some top tips and just little key survival phrases to help you guys along if you are planning to head to China. So yeah, keep an eye on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, so China mainland would be probably our biggest market. After that then would be Taiwan, South Korea, and certain parts of Southeast Asia for ESL teaching. Vietnam is probably our most popular location in Southeast Asia. So are you the right fit? So this is obviously a key question. You're going to need a bachelor's degree for 95% of our positions, along with what we've talked about already, a TEFL or TESOL or even a CELTA. But the bare minimum will be a 120-hour online-only TEFL course. And if you do have 2 years classroom experience, well, then you won't need the TEFL, right? And then, Cara, we've laid out the bit more about the personality type. You want to run through that briefly?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, like you said, your BA can be in any subject, really, if you plan on doing a TEFL. I met some amazing people who had backgrounds in chemistry or drama or marketing. So the most important thing is, having the ability to be adaptable and flexible, to get used to different cultures and your different environments. Of course, to be a super social person, you're going to meet loads of new people, make loads of new friends. And of course, then to be a little bit adventurous. But I think if we're all thinking about traveling over to Asia, we might have a bit of adventurous already inside of us.
Totally, yeah. I think that makes it quite clear, doesn't it? So I think a lot of people now are just craving adventure, getting life back to normal.
Something a little bit different.
Yeah, it's just really exciting. I spent almost a decade in Asia, and it was just life-changing for me. Kind of jealous actually of people who are planning on going over now.
I was just thinking the same thing. The same thing, yeah.
Okay, and then we go on to, so this is just a screen grab from teachola.com. So generally how it would work, you're going to register on our website. It only takes like a minute. We'll have a video explaining how you do that as well available to you. You upload your CV and you can be booked in for one of our workshops, which we'll talk more about later. Then it means you can access your own personalized teacher dashboard, which we've laid out here. You can, like I said, upload your CV, your resume, you can edit that. You're going to get lots of relevant news and blogs, updates from Asia, and important information on preparing. That's aside from the video series we'll be sending you as well. Lots of FAQs we've built up over the last 10 years. Visa information for each of the countries. And again, that's aside from the videos we'll be sending you. Country overview. And then there's more information there about the jobs, the bookmarks, and school directory as well. We'll also be sending you more detail on each of the first-timer jobs and packages that we have available, that we referred to in part 1 of this series. Next page. So this is related to TEFL that Cara was talking about earlier. So very briefly, the accreditation is excellent. It's accredited by UK-based ACDEC. recognized across most, in fact, all of the markets we operate in across Asia. It's a globally recognized sort of TEFL certification. Most importantly, it's recognized by China Education Government Department. A lot of these TEFL courses out there currently on the market aren't. You'll find a lot of them at a very low price as well. So just be careful, do your research before you do purchase a TEFL course, but take it that the TEFL course here is very much recognized, and it's a very good quality course as well. You'll be getting 24/7 online support, but also you'll have our support in the background as well as you do the course. The teacher trainers are excellent. I've actually done this course myself, and we have it at a very competitive price as well, like less than €1 per hour. When you hear it like that, it puts things into perspective. It's a very good investment, and get you set up and ready to go. One thing as well I should mention, Cara, the payment is very secure. I know when I was looking at TEFLs way back in the day, there was TEFL courses in Indonesia and Thailand and all these different places, but the payment would go directly into our business bank account in the Republic of Ireland, and you would then get access to your course pretty much immediately. So it's a very safe, secure payment system we have set up as well.
And like you said, it's just important to reiterate here, guys, if this is your first time or you're looking to move abroad, we would definitely recommend a 120-hour minimal as your first TEFL, because this is what most of the positions require.
Exactly, yeah. It's the absolute minimum, but that will be, there are obviously other courses that are shorter, but we'd recommend the 120-hour. Visa document preparation. It really depends on several factors. Where you are. Are you based in the US? Are you Irish? You from UK? Where are you from, and where are you based? So it's very difficult to summarize all of that in one go. So what we've done is we've designed up coaching videos, whether you are Irish or British or American or Canadian or South African or wherever you're from, and we've laid out the information for you. So we won't focus in too much detail on that in this video. The basic documents include your university degree, TEFL if it's relevant. If you have teaching experience, well, you're going to need reference letters on headed paper with ink signature. But I think most of our applicants for these roles will be newbies, new to teaching, or relatively new at least. You're going to need to get a non-criminal record check. Again, it's all explained in our videos. There's going to be some element of COVID-related documentation as well. These videos I mentioned will be detailing step by step the steps you're going to need to go through in the process, depending on where you're from. So, for example, Rebecca, who's based in Asia right now, she's done up the video for Irish teachers. Then we have other people who've done the videos for different countries. Timelines expected for visa collection in the current COVID situation. So like I referred to earlier, things are becoming clearer week by week regarding COVID. But still there isn't a simple answer to this. So it'll depend on which country you're in. Cara, this is more about, so the coaching videos that we've developed, you've been heavily involved in this as well, along with Rebecca and Ashley also. So maybe you could run through briefly some of these videos that everybody is going to receive in their email once they register.
Yeah, sure. So like you said, we've had a lot of content and we've been really busy trying to create lots of cool videos and really informative to help you guys out. So we will cover things like what you've mentioned before in terms of visa applications, how to register on Teachola and apply for jobs, how to improve your application, as well as tips and tricks for teaching. We also go into quite a lot of detail on teaching online, which we have mentioned previously too. And then we'll have a lot more content related to teaching and living in Asia too. So there's currently a Mythbusters video that's just headed up. And like you mentioned, Rebecca and Ashley have been creating lots of cool video content about life in Asia too. So lots of cool stuff coming your way.
Yeah, and we're about to publish another really good video where we've interviewed 2 teachers who are currently teaching in China. Quite a lengthy interview. They go into all sorts of detail on the food and the social life and teaching and their general lifestyle and the cost of living and all these things that are useful. You also mentioned the teach online aspect, Cara. So we're getting a lot of our, especially recent graduates, but also final year students or even students at an earlier stage of their degree are wanting to teach online. I know when I was at university way back, I had a part-time job, and that's complicated now with restrictions, right, for COVID. So
and
lot
it's
of
also a great way to gain experience.
Right, exactly. Exactly. It gives you a chance to get into teaching and learn a little bit more about the culture. So anyway, there's an opportunity there. You do your TEFL, get that done, and we can have you teaching online within a week of your interviews and an offer. So more on that later, but it's a nice way to just dip your toe, I guess, into teaching initially as you prepare to travel off to the Far East later this year. That's most things for part 2. Part 3, we're going to be covering what actually happens after you fly east and land in Asia, wherever it is you're going to be based. So we're going to be covering areas like once you land, what happens, the airport collection. Obviously, quarantine is now relevant. We'll talk more about that. Orientation and training. Most of our schools will be offering 1 to 2 weeks of training, which is amazing. I only got like a day or 2, I think, when I first arrived into South Korea. But mainland China, the schools we work with there especially would be very professional with the training, and so you're not rushed into the classroom. It's step by step. We go into more detail on Teachola community as well, where we talk about our connections with sports clubs all across Asia, non-profit, volunteer work is available as well, and also local service providers. We'll go into more detail on that. That will be relevant for you when you're actually living in Asia. The ongoing support we provide at Teachola, we have been doing for 10 years now when we were previously Teachers for Asia, and also opportunities you may want to look at furthering your career in education. A lot of teachers come to us as newbies. They try teaching English and then they fall in love with teaching and they want to upskill and maybe qualify then as a professionally qualified teacher. So we'll be discussing all of that in part 3, but thank you guys for listening in, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video.